everyone, I'm Egidio Deliu and welcome to another season of Sports Playback, the show that brings you all the best highlights, scores, and matchups each week from your favorite schools, Leuzinger, Lawndale, and Hawthorne, right into your living rooms. An exciting week 2 is already in the books in the young 2014 high school football season, as 2 of our 3 schools left Friday night with a win, one of which ending a long streak. Let's dive right into the action and check out the results. First up, the Leuzinger Olympians traveled to take on the Bishop Montgomery Knights, but it was the Olympians who came out swinging the sword as they fought to a 9-7 win over the Knights. A 4-yard pass from Edson Santos to running back Lionel Smith resulted in a first touchdown for Leuzinger, who then added a 30-yard field goal by kicker Steven Ortiz to give the Olympians the lead and the win. This wasn't pretty, but very effective as the win broke a 16-game losing streak for the Olympians, who are now 1-1 on the season. This also marks the first win for new head coach Damian Porter. More on Leuzinger a little bit later on tonight. Next up, the Lawndale Cardinals took flight to Encino, California as they took on Crespi High School. The Cardinals were looking for their first win of the season as they looked across their field at a very tough Crespi team who came in sporting a 2-0 record. The Celts jumped to an early 21-0 lead over the Cardinals and didn't look back as they pounded Lawndale 49-0 in a tough loss for Coach Rick Mathieson and his crew. Now to the game of the week from last Friday. You saw it right here on CityTV Sports. It was a rematch from last year. This time it was Hawthorne who played host as the Blair Vikings, coming off a streak-ending win of their own last week. Let's take a look at the action. Vikings moving the ball well on the ground in the first drive thanks to number 16 Kyle Kinley, who is coming off a 170-yard rushing game last week, gains 9 yards to a Blair first down. He ran the ball well early on, but for some reason, Kinley was not seen until the fourth quarter, where things were clearly out of hand. The Hawthorne defense causes Blair to punt on fourth down. Number 16 Jamal Neal is back to return, and return he does. Takes it left, jukes the defender, and with blockers in front of him, takes it all the way to the house for the first Cougar touchdown. Neal starting for the Cougars. He's only a sophomore, one of the 9 starting for the Cougars, showing blazing speed and agility. The Cougars defense showed up Friday night to play, coming up with 2 fumbles on this drive. The second one recovered by number 45, Angel Harrow, giving great field position for the Hawthorne offense. 4 total fumbles on the night from Blair. First time this year on CityTV, the Hawthorne offense starting at the Blair 18-yard line. Hands off to number 5, Paris McDaniel. Goes right, shakes the defender, and stiff arms another as he scores his first of many touchdowns of the night. Hawthorne leads 14-0 in the first quarter. Following another turnover from Blair, this time the Cougars offense starts at the 17-yard line. Inside handoff to McDaniel up the middle, makes his way through the defense like a charging bull on his way to his second touchdown of the game. Hawthorne is up 21-0. Still in the first, a muffed punt by Blair gives the ball back to the Cougars at the 2nd-yard line. Who else but the Eiffel Tower himself, Paris McDaniel, gets the handoff and another touchdown stat on the sheet. Hawthorne leads 28-0, and it's looking like deja vu from last year's matchup. McDaniel had 4 total touchdowns on the night, and here's his 4th, this time from the 3-yard line, walks in the end zone untouched, putting up the Cougars 35-0 following the extra point, all before the half. They were not done yet. The passing game was on display as number 12, Carlos Jacobo, drops back, looks left, and has his man wide open in the end zone. Jamal Neal with a beautiful grab for his 2nd overall touchdown of the night. Neal, one of the young players that Coach Paysinger is really excited about. Number 9, Saladin Davis, comes in from McDaniel, who gets a much-deserved rest of the night off and picks up where Paris left off. On the toss, he runs 20 yards to a touchdown, showing his speed and power, and the Cougars hammer the final nail in the coffin as Hawthorne leads 51-0. Near the end of the game, Blair has put a nice drive together. A handoff to number 5, Chardine Blaylock, goes left and is sprung by a huge block on his way to 6 points for the first score of the Vikings. Unfortunately, though, time ran out. Hawthorne wins this one big, 51-6. This marked the first win of the year for the Hawthorne Cougars. What a great win for Hawthorne. Interesting fact, last year the Cougars got their first win, 69-0 over Blair. This year the same results in the end, but the scoreboard read a little bit differently. Despite that, Coach Paysinger was very proud of his young team, and Sebastian Spencer caught up with Coach after the game, and this is what he had to say.
Coach, you guys routed this team 51-0. What went on in practice this week in order for them to have a performance like this today?
Our whole goal was to focus on us. No one else, not Blair, not anyone else but Hawthorne High School. And that was our only goal, and that's what we came out to do.
This is your second year here, trying to redo the face of this franchise. What have you been telling these guys?
Dream. You got to dream. You got to work, the discipline, and stay focused. We have a new saying: winners versus losers. Winners find a way to get it done. Losers make excuses. We're not looking for excuses.
Definitely. You definitely have a lot of power in the backfield. Paris McDaniel as well, playing really well tonight, and so is Jamil too. Talk about those guys and what they mean to your team.
Well, Paris is a returning starter for us, so he's used to being in the grind and know what to do, and he worked hard in the offseason to get it done. Jamal, a receiver, he's a 10th grader. He's a young guy, but he's been playing his whole life, and he knows the game. He's a student of the game, and that's a plus.
And what do you look forward to seeing from them this season? I know you told Egidio that you say you're very impatient, feel like you have a talented team and you guys can make some moves this year.
Yes, we're very talented. If I can keep them focused and disciplined, we're going to surprise some teams this year.
I agree with Coach Pasinger. He does have a lot of talent on this year's squad. One of those talented guys is senior running back Paris McDaniel, who I've nicknamed the Eiffel Tower, and rightly so. He had 4 touchdowns in the win over Blair. Our sideline reporter Tamara Latta caught up with McDaniel after the big win.
What allowed your team to get this win tonight?
Well, before the game, we were just pumped up and fired up, and we just practiced every day, Monday through Friday, or Monday through Thursday for this game, and we were just ready. Thursday walkthroughs, we were just comfortable with what we were doing. Going through the emotions, and we just got out here and got our work done. And just do what we were supposed to do. I came out with a victory.
The Cougars are going to need McDaniel and everyone else to be on their A game as Hawthorne is on the road to take on Verbum Day, who is looking for their 3rd win of the year. This game will be played at LA Southwest College. And now for this week's Game of the Week. It pits 2 of our schools together as crosstown rivals meet once again. This year, Leuzinger hosts the Lawndale Cardinals. Lawndale is hungry for a win and will have to try to get it done at Olympian Field in front of a pumped and unsympathetic Leuzinger crowd. It will be interesting to see, though, how Leuzinger reacts coming off their first win in 17 games. Coach Porter will look to build on last week's victory as his young team showed signs of improvement against the Knights. Tonight, though, will be a much tougher test that we'll have to ace. The winners will not only get the W, but will also have bragging rights for a whole year. What more can you ask for? This is a great matchup you won't want to miss. So for the Sports Playback crew, I'm Egidio Deliu. Let's throw it down the field. Guys, take it away.